We're just letting everyone trickle in, and then we will get started. If you want to type in the chat where you're joining us from, I'll get it started. A lot of North Carolina. Ooh, we got a Georgia.
Milledgeville.
Jessica, if you want to go ahead and get started, I can continue to let people in as we go if you want to do it that way.
Sure. Oh, hey, Robin. Okay. Welcome everyone today to our Rise and C2C interest group combo. Today we're going to talk all about AATCC as well as testing. We can go to the next slide. A little bit of housekeeping before we start. This is your session, so we encourage interaction. Please add any questions or comments to the chat. If you would please mute yourself during the presentation. We will have a Q&A section after the presentation where you can either raise your hand and talk with us, or you can add that question to the chat still, and we can definitely ask your question. We are recording this session, so if you do not wish to be recorded, please turn off and mute your webcam. My name is Jessica Brooks. I am the RISE Interest Group Chair. I also happen to be a colorist for WL Gore and Associates. I'm thankfully and luckily joined by Monet Freeman, who is our RISE Interest Group Vice Chair and who works at Gaston College at the Textile Technology Center, and Chris Hips, who is our C2C Interest Group Chair and the Global Director of Color Management with our Chroma. Chris, I'll hand it off to you.
Yeah, great. Thanks. Yeah, I'm Chris. I'm the chair of the C2C interest group. I work for our Chroma. C2C's involvement with this particular interest group meeting, and thank you to Jess and Monet for letting us combine things here. C2C is sponsoring the multi-purpose performance student design competition, and part of their task in the entries that they will be adding to the competition is about testing. So when they do a design and they need to include information about how they're going to validate performance. And so we wanted to have a resource for them to learn more about testing, also learn more about AATCC. Obviously, this is open to all of the members, new and old or experienced alike, to always have an opportunity to learn more. So obviously, at the end, when we have questions, if there are any students who are working on their admissions and they have questions about testing or AATCC, encourage them to add up, as well as anybody else who may have any types of questions. I'd like to introduce Greg. For those of you who don't know, he's waving there. He's a graduate of the Philadelphia College of Textiles and Science, now known as Thomas Jefferson, as well as the Institute of Textile Technology. Started at Burlington Industries, Knitted Fabrics Division. It's been was with Hanes Brands, including the predecessor Sara Lee Knit Products and National Textiles. Last role was Senior Manager Product Quality Safety at Hanes Brands, and he's been the Executive Director of our association since, I don't know exactly which month, but since 2024. But welcome, Greg. November. Okay, so let's welcome Greg, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about testing.
Okay, thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. And Amanda, are you bringing up the presentation?
I am. I'm
Yes,
bringing
you
it up
are.
right now.
Excellent. Okay, so AATCC testing and performance standards. And we'll get into this, but it's really important to understand the difference between a test method and a test standard. They're not the same thing. So before we get into that, let's just talk a little bit about what AATCC is. Some of you are experts in this and maybe even have participated in creating some of this information. Others of you may know nothing about this, so this is really for the people that don't know a lot about it. Our mission is to connect the global textile community to empower an innovative, informed, and sustainable future. I think that's really important to understand, that innovation is really important and sustainability is really important. They're not just concepts that pop up. That's part of our core mission. And there are 5 broad categories that I just want to mention. First is what we're going to spend some time talking about today, and that is test method development, testing, supporting aids, and training that goes along with that. Then there are research committees. The research committees are made up of AATCC members, and they are the ones that do the work of creating new test methods. Then there are workshops, conferences, and online programs. If you're not familiar with them, then that means that you're not paying attention to what you're doing right now because you're in an online program. And workshops and conferences just means you have to get in a car or an airplane to participate. We do also have publications. We have a magazine that comes out every other month. This is, I think, our most recent. And also have a journal of research if you are working on your PhD, or if you've already got your PhD and you're in academia and you need to publish on a regular basis so that you don't perish. We've got just the platform for you, the AATCC Journal of Research. It's all about textiles. And then finally, there is the AATCC Foundation, which provides scholarships and research grants. So if you're a student or you know a student that might need some money to study textiles, the AATCC Foundation gives out approximately $150,000 a year. And I have to tell you, the best days of my entire year are the days where I have to sign a whole bunch of checks to give money to students. That makes me feel great. So if you're a student that has benefited from that, congratulations. If you're a student that's thinking about it, good luck. I would be happy to sign a check for you at some point in the future. So do recognize that AATCC is a membership-based organization, and there are companies that become members of AATCC, and then some people within that company are members. There are individuals that become members, and there are students that become members. So we've got 3 different categories, and we're all part of the AATCC family. Next slide, please. So most importantly for the subject today, AATCC is a textile industry standards provider. We were founded in 1921, and we published our first test method in 1923. And there are currently more than 150 active test methods, plus lab procedures, evaluation procedures, and monographs that are listed in our most recent 2026 AATCC Manual of International Test Methods and Procedures. So if you don't have one of these, you should get one. If you work in a company, you should make sure that your company has one. You don't have to have one on your desk. I think it's great if you do, but you don't have to have one. You need to know who you can go to when you need to know the information that's in here. And we're going to talk about some of the information that's in that book, because if you know that you can get to that book, you can probably solve a whole lot of your testing problems. And I think it's important to mention that the 2025 volume, which was in red, special color, was our 100th volume. And now back to the black that we've had since the 1960s is our 101st. So we keep going year after year, and we've got a whole lot in there. Go to the next slide, please, Amanda. So let's talk about test methods versus performance standards. And a good example of a test method is AATCC test method 61. It's been around for a long time. It's a test method for evaluating the color fastness to laundry, and it does it in an accelerated manner. So there are multiple different ways to perform the test. They're all documented properly in the manual. A common way to do it is using test condition 2A, which is listed in table 1 in the test method. And it's the equivalent of doing 5 home laundries at a medium or warm temperature, about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you think, all right, I've got this garment or I've got this piece of fabric and I want to know, is it going to lose its color? Is it going to stain something else in the laundry with it? You could put it in the washer and the dryer 5 times. Wash, dry, wash, dry, wash, dry, wash, dry. And then you would have your answer. How long is it going to take? Well, if you rush it, you might be able to get it done in a day, depending on what your wash cycles are. And that may or may not be how long you want to wait on it. And there's also the concept of sustainability. How much water will you be using? How much detergent will you be using to do that 5 times? It can be much more sustainable and much faster to use test method 61, which will get it done for you in about 45 minutes and save you a tremendous amount of water and detergent and time. And we all know that time is money. So unless you're the person doing this test method, you don't have to know all the details about how to do it, but it's really important to know that it does exist. And then once you do the test, you get a result. And the result is wonderful. That's great. And the way we typically see results for color fastness is they're rated on a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 means terrible and 5 means fantastic. So a 3 is somewhere in between. And what you need to recognize is that there's always a bell curve of the way performance happens. And if you say, all right, my performance standard is that you must get a 5 rating on color fastness or this product is unacceptable, it better be that the most common result that you get or the highest peak on this bell curve is your rating of 5. If your rating of 5 is way out here at the plus 2.5 sigma, you're going to be in trouble because that means that 99.5% of the time you will fail your own test method. So you need to have a test method created and then understand your population before you can create a performance standard. So next slide, please. And click it once more. In addition to test method 61, there are today 30 different color fastness test methods. And again, unless you're going to be the person that is performing all of these test methods, you don't need to know the details of all of them, but you will be way ahead of the curve and way ahead of everybody else if you just read through this 2 or 3 times. If you read through it 2 or 3 times, your brain will remember most of it. And 10 or 20 years from now, you will say, hey, I remember that AATCC has a test method for color fastness to ozone in high humidity. Now, over the next 10 or 20 years, you may not ever have to know that. But one day you might need to know that. And if you know that AATCC has the test, you just go grab your handy dandy black manual, and then you'll find out how to do it. and either you do it yourself or you say, hey, let me call up my favorite third-party lab and have them do it for me. But if you know that information, that it exists, then you become an expert on testing, even if you don't know how to do the test. So I encourage everyone, regardless of where you are in your career, what you do, if you're interested in testing, at least read through what are all the tests so that you know what's out there. Next slide, please. So let's talk a little bit more about test method 61. And the piece of equipment that you do this 45-minute test in is shown here on the left, the launderometer. This particular one is made by SDL Atlas Corporation. And then on the right is a 16-pound bucket of AATCC standard reference detergent without optical, or what we call WOB. So if you have optical brightener, it can mess with your color fastness testing. So certain tests need to be done without optical brighteners. So we sell it with and without. So always make sure that you're using the right detergent. If you go to the next slide, please. And I had mentioned earlier that test method 61 has a table 1, and I had talked about sample or test condition 2A. There's also 1A, 1B, 3A, 4A, and 5A. And sometimes the conditions are equal to what it predicts in the real world. And sometimes the conditions in the machine are not equal to what you experience in the real world. So if someone asks you, well, is the condition equal to the end result? The answer is, it depends. So if we look at 2A, 2A is at 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you look over to the right, that's equivalent to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're using 120 degree water to predict what would happen with 100 degree water. And that's because there are other factors that affect it. And if you look at 5A, which is a very different equivalent, that is using 120 degree water, and it's equivalent to 120 degree, but it's different because it's got chlorine present in it. So just knowing that sometimes the conditions equal and sometimes the conditions don't equal is important. And this test method, as I mentioned, has been around for a long time. It was developed by Research Committee RA60 in 1950. So yes, it has been around for quite a while. Next slide, please. And when you do color fastness testing, one of the things that you have to do is evaluate it properly. And there are ways to evaluate it, and they can be either visual or electronic. And when you're doing it visually, you need to use gray scales or chromatic transference scales. And these are available from AATCC. This is what they look like. These are their part numbers. And it's important that these get replaced on an annual basis, because if you don't replace them annually, they get dirty and then you start making bad decisions. So again, if you're not the person who's doing the test, you don't necessarily have to be able to know how to use this. But if you know someone that is using it, make sure that they are using a recent one that has been replaced within the last year, because otherwise your test results may be flawed. And you don't want that. If you're going to spend money or time on testing, you want it to be effective and accurate. Next slide, please. So let's talk about a little case study on testing. So this is a Champion baseball hat that when I worked for Hanes Brands, I got access to. This was a pre-development one, so this was not out on the market at the time. So I'm going to take you through a little case study, and it's going to show something bad. I don't want you to think that the Champion brand is bad. We're going to show why bad things can happen And obviously, this got resolved before the product went into the marketplace. So nothing bad about Champion. But this is a black cotton baseball hat. Next slide. So if you are wearing a baseball cap out in the world, playing baseball or walking to the store or playing on the beach or wherever it is you wear a baseball cap, two things are likely to cause it to have color fastness issues. One is it's going to be exposed to ultraviolet light. So you could take the hat and you could sit it out in the sun for 6 months and see what happens to it. Or you could put it into a lab and test it using AATCC test method TM16.3, which will use a xenon arc light to rapidly evaluate that. And while you're wearing that baseball hat and it's hot and sunny, you are likely to sweat. And when you sweat, you may have that sweat cause color fastness issues. So you might also want to test it for color fastness to perspiration. So you test it for light, you test it for perspiration. Let's go to the next slide. So we tested it for light, we tested it for perspiration. We also tested it in the laundry because you might take your hat and toss it into the laundry. And we got a green check on all three. Okay, so you say to yourself, Self, I'm really good. I understand what's in the AATCC test manual. And I've done a good job of selecting things. And now I'm happy that we've got a good product. If you'll go to the next slide. Well, there's the actual cap that I wore personally. This was not put through a lab. This was put on my head. And it started out a nice, beautiful black. And you'll notice it's more of a motley brown now. But on the underside, it is still black. So what does that tell you? That tells you that ultraviolet light was a problem. But we know it passed the light fastness test. But you see the splotching in there. That tells you that there was an interaction between the light and the perspiration. And if you go to the next slide, please. There's another test that you could do, and that is a test method to color fastness to perspiration and light. So doing both of them together as opposed to the two separate, excuse me, makes a difference. And when you test this particular fabric with the particular dye that was used on it to test method 125, it fails, and it fails miserably. And therefore, the testing does equal what happens in the real world. So it's important to know not just some of the tests in the manual, but to understand that there are 150 different tests in there, and be familiar with all of them. And when there's a need to do testing, make sure you choose all of the right ones, not just some of the right ones. Testing it to color is great. Testing it to perspiration is great. Testing it to light is great. But until you combine the light and the perspiration, you won't find out that this product will fail. Next slide, please. And then finally, I just wanted to mention that there are a whole lot of other types of tests besides color fastness. In the first half of the 20th century, a real big focus was on color fastness. But once those issues got resolved, AATCC branched out into other subjects, such as biological properties, carpet, etc. The biological properties include things like antimicrobial and antibacterial testing. Carpet testing includes carpet soiling, electrostatic issues. Are you going to get a static electricity shock when you walk across it? And fluorine content. Dyeing properties include test methods for dusting, foaming, and thermal fixation of dyes. The evaluation procedures, there are 3 noted in test method 61, plus there are others including UV energy and optically brightened textiles. And identification and analysis. That includes fiber analysis. Is it cotton? Is it rayon? Is it wool? Is it polyester? Is it nylon? Plus many others. There are lab procedures, including machine washing, hand washing, laundering with bleach, synthetic soil, etc. There are moisture management methods, wicking, absorbency, drying rate. There are monographs. Monographs are not test methods. They're not laboratory procedures. They're articles about concepts. For example, there's one about standard reference detergent. So there are sort of like short little stories or articles about things that you might care about related to testing. The category of other properties includes abrasion resistance, electrical resistance, oil repellency, and soil release. Water and weather includes water repellency, water resistance, the spray test, and rain test. And wet processing includes wetting agent evaluation. So I've mentioned this a couple times. You don't have to know how to do every test method, but knowing all of the test methods that are out there will put you way ahead of the curve and ahead of everyone else that you work with. And even if you don't have the book, know how you can get to the book, because when you need it, you'll need it, and it will help you solve your problems. Even if you don't have to do the test, you find someone that does, but until you tell them what to test, you may not get the right test done. So I think that's what I needed to say, because I think if you click next, we'll hit a blank slide. Why, yes, I remembered what the end was. So are there any questions for me at this point? Silence is good.
Silence is great. Thank you so much, Greg. And if there are questions, feel free, anyone, to write them in the chat, or we can answer them later on in the Q&A section.
Very good. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. That hat was a great visual representation, so appreciate you sharing that.
My wife hates that hat, by the way. I still wear it.
You still have it? You still wear it?
I still have it. I still have it.
Well, can't win them all.
Wonderful. And then I guess I'm going to take over now, and I'm going to talk about how your membership benefits, support testing. And one of the big things we like to say is it helps build your confidence. Our members get resources to grow their textile testing skill set. We do give a complimentary library of digital labs. We give free webinars like the one that you're on now. And we have a biannual committee meetings, which are free to attend. And we always encourage our members to attend them, if only to learn more about what is going on in our committees and our research committees especially. You can stay ahead of change. AATCC publications, meeting and events give members access to evolving standards, new test methods, and emergent performance requirements. You get to learn from the experts, people who have been doing this their whole life. Membership comes with a direct connection to the professionals who write, validate, and use the test every day, as well as online technical communities, which are filled with your peers to discuss testing. And then you can turn your data into decisions. You take advantage of your discounts to gain certified education through workshops and technical programs like our PTPs that will help back up your results and make you feel more confident in what you're doing. And now I'm going to turn it over to Monet, who's going to talk to you a little bit about our research committees and our interest groups.
Hello. All right. So now I'm going to kind of talk to you guys about how you can get involved with AATCC, okay? So you can get engaged with AATCC research committees, being a part of the process that sets the standards, as Greg mentioned before. So basically pulling up a seat to the table, join the committees that develop and refine the test methods that your company and specialties rely on, okay? So whether that's from sustainability metrics to color fastness to antimicrobials. All right. So if you know that it's going to be something that's going to help your company, help you within your career, that's something that you need to be involved in. Making your expertise count. So sharing the data, solve real testing challenges, and influence outcomes that set the standards for the whole industry. You can be a part of that. You can make that change. See what's coming next. get early visibility into new methods, technologies, and performance expectations that can impact your business. Again, anything that's going to help you, your company, further your career, further what your company is doing. Also, you can learn fast, contribute faster. So collaborate with the experts writing and validating the standards and the brands requesting them. So whether that means that you're joining us at our committee meetings, you can give your input into things that you're used to seeing especially if you're a part of that testing within your company. Okay. You can also get involved. So get recognized and get ahead. You can be an active participant and can build a reputable and dynamic testing strategy. Okay. And so now we're going to have Amanda go in and she's going to kind of show you how you can navigate the website.
Give me 1 second to get my website up to date. We should be
Okay.
ready to go. So sorry. Should have
And
had
then
it ready to go.
You got that? Okay.
Give me 1 minute.
And after that, we'll kind of get into some of the interest groups that you guys can join that can help benefit you.
While we're waiting between Greg's presentation and also all the other information we're presenting, let us know in the chat if you've learned something new today too. Go ahead, Amanda.
Okay, so I just wanted to start off on our committee page. This is a great way to figure out all of the AATCC committees, which you can find from this link right here. It lists pretty much almost everyone when you get into the nitty gritty, and Nate is a phenomenal resource. He knows everything about these committees inside and out. Please reach out to him if you have any questions about them. He is more than happy to get you involved in any committee that you want to serve on. And then we also have our publications tab. Publications are where you're going to find out about what's currently happening in the industry. Our reviews and our journals are all listed here. It's fantastic just to kind of look through and see. I know I've been found all of our magazines are apparently in my office, and I've been going through the ones from the 70s. So it's amazing to see the difference between today and those times of yesteryear. We also have AATCC communities or AATCC communities. This is a great place for you to kind of go in, find what communities work for you. I apologize, my screen might look a little different than yours, but you can kind of join whatever committee you want to see kind of what is happening. You can ask questions. This is also a great place for our directory. This is where you can find our members and their contact information. If you have any questions and you're like, hey, I don't know how to do this, but I think somebody else might, this is where you're going to find them. And then one of our most unsung benefits is our digital learning. So digital learning is fantastic because any archived recording that's less than a year or over a year old is a complimentary to our members. We a little bit done digital recording. So currently all of them are free to our members. You've got a little bit of everything. Go through this, really look and see what's there. I personally think this is one of our most unsung benefits in all seriousness. And I think that anyone can use it kind of for whatever you need. Okay, and now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna let Monet continue forward with the presentation.
I definitely don't use the digital learning enough. I need to go on there. I'm like looking
Yeah.
at some of these. I'm like, ooh, that looks interesting.
Yeah, especially knowing that everything
Absolutely.
is recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are very big about recording everything and making it available to our members.
Okay, guys, so now we're going to get into our interest groups. So we have 4 interest groups that we'll discuss today. The next slide, Amanda, please.
Oh, is it on interest groups?
Yes.
It's
Okay.
on research committees right now.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. Better?
No.
Unshare and reshare.
I think that's what I have to do. I apologize. Okay. Better?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, no, it went back to
I
the get engaged.
I apologize, everybody. This is a technical difficulties on my part entirely.
It's okay.
Is this a little bit better now? Where are we supposed to be?
Research
No,
committees.
at the last side, we're still at research committees.
There we go.
Okay, yes. All right, so now we'll go through the 4 interest groups. Just so you can kind of familiarize yourself with them, but you can also go, just like Amanda showed us how to navigate the website, you guys can go on there and try to get involved that way as well. So first we have our chemical applications, so where you can expand knowledge on applying chemicals, preparation aids, colorants, finishes, polymers to textiles, where you focus on technologies, equipment, processes, and testing treated materials. Next, we have concept to consumer, or C2C, which is a forum for manufacturers and retailers to discuss product creation from initial concept to final consumption. Okay, and that's what Chris is a part of. You want to wave, Chris? And then we have our materials interest group for advanced knowledge and development of new materials through innovative modifications or unique compositions in fiber and fiber products. Okay. And lastly, you have Rising Professionals, or RISE, which Jessica and myself are a part of. Jessica is the chair, I'm the vice chair, which supports professional development, networking, mentorship, and leadership in textiles. It's open to all members, so whether you're a newcomer, or you've been in the industry, you just kind of want to, learn about mentorship, or you want to be a mentor, things like that, you can also join RISE as well. And last year, we had a couple of really great webinars. So make sure that you're looking out for those, because even if you have been in the industry for a little while, they're very helpful. I know I learned a lot from one of our last ones. So I enjoy them, even though I'm helping put them together as well. So I am going to pass it along to Jessica.
Thank you. Yes. And one more thing on the interest groups, you don't have to just select one. You could be part of all of them if you so choose. You can only have voting rights for one of them, I believe, but you can attend any and all events that any of the interest groups put on. They're free to all members.
And
Thank you.
Jessica, I did want to insert that the AATCC communities have interest group communities
They do.
where the recordings of these sessions are kept. So if anybody wants to go see the last RISE interest group meeting, the recording is in the RISE interest group on communities.
Yep, perfect. Thank you, Maria.
No worries.
All right, Amanda, if you can go to the next, please. So you've heard about testing, you've heard about committees, you've heard about the different interest groups. Besides nationals and all of the things that they're doing, we also have sections. And so if you look at this map, you can see that there's a variety of different sections, not only in the US, but also in Pakistan. If you see one that's in your area, we can help connect you with the chair of that section. We can help get you more involved. You automatically are placed in your section based on your geographical location. However, you can change based on your preference in the member portal. For instance, some individuals might choose another section where they conduct more business, right? I happen to be the president of the Delaware Valley section, which includes Maryland, New Jersey, parts of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. But there's a variety of different sections. If you do not see a section for your area on here, reach out. There's potential that we could create a new section. Our latest ones are Pakistan, as well as the Great Lakes. They just started their section back up again. So there's always a potential to create a new section if you don't see one. There's a whole lot of area on that map that I see that doesn't have a section. So there are potential for this. Next slide, please. Within our sections, the committees will organize regional events and activities. The picture on this slide is one of our last events that the Delaware Valley had, Warp, Weft, and Verified, which was an event here at Gore. There are a variety of different section events that go on. And so these are posted and updated on the AATCC calendar. You also can see it on social media like LinkedIn or Instagram. The AATCC staff is excellent about posting about any events, and some of the sections post about them as well. So I highly recommend following so that you can get that information. So we're always looking for volunteers in this section. That's going to be a common theme for this presentation. We need people for committees. We need people for interest groups, for sections. If you have a passion for an area, come join us. We want you to be part of it. We want you to help organize events. This is not a dictatorship, right? Monet and I are not just saying, oh, we want this person to be our speaker. We would love to hear from you on different events or information that you want to hear about. So if you're interested in planning activities or you have any ideas, please reach out to us. We love to learn more and to have different events. So there is a section on the website, aatcc.org/active sections, where you can reach out to your section leader or just connect with one of the AATCC staff and we'll get you connected. That brings us to the Q&A.
And can I say one thing? So as Jessica was saying, I feel like if you are interested in seeing something or a webinar that maybe you haven't seen in the past, let us know. If you think that is going to benefit students or newcomers to the industry, please let us know, because I know that's very helpful for when you're just coming into the industry.
Yeah, well said. Michelle.
Hi. I just wanted to do a quick call out. My colleague and I are on this call. We really liked the hat walkthrough. Is there like a specific space where we can just find a bunch of those, or can there be workshops where it's like those specific, really detailed explanations and understanding? Because they're definitely, I mean, we're in the industry and we've been in the industry for a while, but like just watching that step methods and discussion, there definitely was like a couple of nuggets that I was like, I should have known that, but I didn't, and now I do. And that was a really, really great presentation. So thank you for that. Okay.
You're welcome. Thank you. There is not, as of 2:42 p.m. on January 21st, a course that pulls all that together, but that's a great idea, and I thank you for that idea. We will send you no royalties, but we will thank you for it. No, it's a wonderful idea, and I think we'll try to pull something together, and maybe next year we can offer something.
Great. We will be there.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
And to dovetail into what Maria was saying, what I've seen a lot of people do is using the communities is go onto that and just ask questions about it. And a lot of members will chime in with their experience and their pitfalls and their guidance. So I was going to bring that up for any of the people that are doing the students that are doing the merchandising competition, but it's not just for students there. Obviously, it's just a great forum to ask the overall membership. You can go into the general membership community and ask. You can go into any of the individual interest groups and ask if it's something specific there. But it is a great. There's no shortage generally of people willing to give input on their experiences.
Agreed. Anna.
Hey, I had a question about the committees. So were the committees that you guys were talking about here related to the like test method committees that people can join?
Yes, there are committees for test methods. We have other committees as well. Is there one in particular you were interested in?
Well, that I guess is my next question, because I'm interested in multiple. So yeah, I'm in Pittsburgh with SUDOC. I don't know if you remember me, but we joined last year, and we're new to the textile industry space. Traditionally, we were doing wet chemistry and solution-based chemistry, but like because we're new and like needing to kind of get on board and like catch up a little bit, I guess. Yeah, I'm interested in joining committees, but I also don't want it to be like a big time suck. So that way I'm like, can't do experiments in the lab, or like can't do my other day-to-day things. So yeah, how many, like what is the time commitment for committees, I guess?
Yeah, Someone else jump in if you feel free, but committees actually meet twice a year, and starting at the next one, they're going to be virtual. So you could actually join as many as you want. It's over the course of 2 days. So you could pick and choose which ones you wanted to attend. If you just wanted to dabble at first, you don't have to necessarily sign up immediately. But then if you found specific ones you're interested in, you definitely could. And as the team said, we also do workshops. So if there's something that you need to learn or you want to get hands-on a little bit more, well, there's a variety of workshops that are also offered. So whether you needed to learn about testing or color, etc., there's a few different ways that you could quickly get up to speed, right?
Good answer.
Absolutely, Jessica. I was thinking the same thing.
And she can lurk in as many as she wants. Like
Yeah.
Jessica was saying, you don't have to actually join any of them unless you feel drawn to participate, but you can lurk in all of them.
I tend to dabble and join if something's calling me that day. So
There you go.
As someone who doesn't have a textile background, I've been lurking in quite a few now, just to see kind of what's going on and have some talking points with our members. So it's always nice to kind of have an understanding of what other people are working on.
so apologies if I butcher your name, but Mazayar?
Yeah, hello everyone. Sorry, I'm driving. I cannot take the video, but this is Dr. Gashti, Majid Parmezli Gashti. I'm at Great Lake section. I'm education chair, as you know, and we just started this section. I just wanted to take the opportunity to advertise our section, since we are working actively on recruiting members in our section, and also we have a webinar, bi-monthly webinar. So we just had one on the past Monday. So I would like to encourage everyone to just attend those webinars. If you cannot attend, and at this time, at least being, watch the videos. This one was about the smart textiles and integration of stitching and, like a sensors into how that can be integrated in the textiles to make them smart. But we're gonna have, this is on the schedule. I'm gonna have someone from South Carolina to work on, to actually have a webinar on sustainable dyings. I would like to connect with people in the community and see who is interested, in being engaged with these webinars. At the same time, because we are working on the newsletter, I have 8-9 students, currently working on the newsletters as well. And I would like to, whoever we have in the Great Lakes section here, I would encourage them to work with us to get their news. They can participate in different activities we are encouraging. Just wanted to, just connect here and just talk about that. But again, thank you so much, AATCC, the community and the whole team, and you're fantastic. You're helping us to grow.
That sounds very interesting, and appreciate you speaking up. How can we get access to your webinar? How do we know when it's happening? Do you have a LinkedIn or a social media site where we can get access to that?
I think that's something, it's out of my hand, since Tazin Akhtar was in charge of those. I'm trying to, let's say, find the speakers, but I'm not doing everything myself. It's a team. And
you need a team.
Maria probably was in charge of some of these advertisements. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Hi there. I'm Tazeen. I'm the Great Lakes section chair. Yeah. And I would like to speak up for Dr. Gashti. Thank you for marketing our section. Definitely. We do send out emails. That's what we have been doing to our section members. And I also posted on my LinkedIn profile and marketed on social media on my Facebook page. Other than that, I tried to do it on the communities page of the AATCC, but the last one I couldn't. I'm navigating through how to do it. So apologies on that part. But I'm learning through my process as the chair of the Great Lakes section. Thank you, everyone.
And we also posted on the AATCC website in the events portion. Perfect. If anything's coming up, we post it and they'll post a link to it. So thank you, Tazeen and Maz, for doing such a great job with Great Lakes section. They're producing all kinds of good content for any members who are interested in attending. You don't have to be a member of Great Lakes. They would like more members of Great Lakes, but you don't have to be.
Yeah, I think we might have to do something together as the Delaware Valley section. Maybe we can do something, an event together.
Yeah.
Yeah. We would
Sure.
love to have other sections to join, especially on the webinars. The more people we get there, because it's about the resources we have, and it's just exchanging knowledge, you know, through the community. And also, like one thing, Maria, we have, I was trying to communicate and reach out to our members to just send the or the webinar information, but the problem was I got several several of these emails are not updated, so I get they're bouncing back, and they're not they're saying they're refusing, you know, the emails are like blocked or they're changed, or probably people were resigned or they got a new position. So those emails, I have probably 10 or at least or probably more through my section where I populate, but I see that they're coming back. So if the emails that I can get,
Please send those to us, Maz,
yeah,
so
if
that
I
we
can
can
get
update the
new update,
website.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, send it to us so we can update our database. Thank you.
Well, Great Lakes, appreciate you speaking up. Sounds like you guys are doing quite a lot and something that the rest of the sections can definitely learn from and see what opportunities there are to collaborate. So appreciate the update.
Thank you.
What other questions? What
There's a good
burning
question
questions?
there's a
There-
good question in the chat there.
Yeah.
Would you like me to read it?
I can read it and then you can answer it. So Salma is currently an undergraduate student, will be graduating this upcoming May. What are some ways I can stay connected post-graduation and continue accessing networking, career opportunities, and resources that the organization provides for students?
Like
Yeah,
Jessica,
sure.
this seems like the biggest plug for Rise I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Give it. Like
Right? Woo!
I was gonna say.
Welcome to Rise. So once you've graduated, just because you've graduated doesn't mean that you no longer have to be a member or want to leave that membership behind, right? Luckily, as a student, you can actually carry on that same student membership for the next 2 years post-graduation. Or if you join a company, you also can get your company to pay for it, right? But their opportunity to connect with everyone is through Rise interest groups. You can join committee members or committees now. You can join sections, figure out which section you're in, and just start networking and taking those opportunities to meet as many people locally as you can or virtually through events like this. If you can attend our big annual conference or any type of events that you see on the AATCC event calendar, it's a great way to network. Add us on LinkedIn. All of us chairs or people that are in this meeting, happy to add new connections, stay in touch with us, happy to help with any kind of questions you might have. Last year, Rise, we had a few different topics on mentoring and career growth. And so Rise might be a great opportunity as someone that's joining the workforce and industry.
and we're always looking for Rise committee who want to be on the Rise committee, right? Like that interest group is always looking for young professionals who can tell us exactly what they want. So please join that as well, because we're always willing to learn from you. Because I know I'm over 40 and it's now like struggling to reach Gen Z, and I feel like if we have more Gen Z people on this interest group, it will only help us.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and like Jess said earlier, you can participate in multiple interest groups. So if there's other interest groups like concept of consumer or the materials interest group, chemical applications, the more exposure that you have to the different people, officers and attendees and topics is a great way to kind of stay connected with it. It's all there.
Agreed. And one thing that Maria and Amanda have brought up about communities, I think Amanda showed where you can search for different members. If there's a company that you're interested in that maybe is an AATCC member, you can search within communities for that company, or if you know someone specifically, and you can get their contact or you can contact them through communities. And so it's a great opportunity to network if you have something that's more specific that you're looking for. Sometimes if I have a company that I think should be part of one of our events or try to reach out to someone, I always check communities first and just see if they're an AATCC member first.
Go ahead, Maria.
Just wanted to give kudos to Jessica.
Just trying to share the word.
Well done.
Well, I'll add that word same again. Maria, you did it right. Clapping, did a great job. Yeah. Wonderful, Jessica. And Chris, your leadership does shine.
Thank you,
Kanti, you're
Kanti.
the best. Are there any other questions or anything that we can help you to navigate the website? Any sort of membership benefits that we haven't covered today that you might be interested in? Let us know. This is your opportunity. Or you always can reach out to staff or one of us at any time, and we're happy to help.
And Amanda, I
Yep.
don't know if you see the question in the chat. They're asking, will there also be a recording of this call? They joined a little bit later. I'm assuming it. Okay.
I will
you
make
answered
sure
that.
everybody gets a copy of all of that, and that it will also be available in the C2C and RISE interest groups on communities. So we're trying to
Thank
plug
you.
communities this year. Let's get it lively again.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Amanda, if you want to go to the next slide. So this is the AATCC membership staff. If you have any questions about how to get involved in communities, how to join interest groups, how to join committees, I will connect you with Nate. He is our expert, but we can help you kind of figure out which one you want to go towards. Josie is our corporate and student membership specialist, and Shania is our individual membership specialist who also works with our sections and our interest groups. They are your main contacts, but please be aware we are all here to help you, and we are a full service membership team. Whatever you need, we will work ourselves to the bones to help you with whatever you kind of need or want or anything. So please don't hesitate to give us a shout out. And I also wanted to plug some AATC education events that we have coming up soon. Our coloration conference is coming up very quickly at the end of February. We're doing a color management workshop in July in LA, which should be a fantastic show or a fantastic conference. And then our international summit will be in Wilmington, North Carolina this year. We are very excited to go back to Wilmington, and hopefully as we continue forward, we'll have a little bit more young professional events at these meetings. So. Yeah, I plan on being at 2 of those 3 events, so I hope to meet some of you in person. Sign up and come meet us. And if there's no other questions, I think we're good to close out our event today. I want to say thank you to Greg for joining and sharing a little bit about AATCC and testing. Thank you to Monet, Chris, Amanda, Maria for helping put this together. Hopefully you've learned something today and learned about a new opportunity to collaborate and help with AATCC. Remember that it's anything that you want to do, it's what you put into it. So if you want to join a committee, if you want to join a section, do it. We're happy to have you and welcome your support.
Thank you, everyone. Wonderful, wonderful presentation.
Thank you, Greg. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.